Howdy. I am here today to talk to you about a certain idea that I think is very important and a lot of people need to think about nowadays. And that is the idea of value. Now, before I get into a lot of the nitty-gritty of this topic, because it can be a bit dense at times to get into, I'd like to say two major statements. One, the one thing that separates each person from one another is not necessarily their physical gifts or their physical appearance, but it is their mental capabilities and their perception of the world around them. Each person sees the world differently. And because of that, we need to use communication and empathy in order to find common ground with each other because of how vast and different we each see the world. Now, I would like to talk about the second main point, which is about when someone else's values contradict yours, or someone has different values from you, here is one statement that is going to help you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Other people's values to you in the current moment don't matter. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the point is that value is something that we put onto something. Now, to make that example, I'm going to talk about beauty real quick, and then money to further explain this. But with beauty, has their own standard. Each people finds someone else beautiful, but it'll never be the same as the other person because, once again, we all see the world differently. And because of that, we all put our own value onto other people based on that beauty. To a certain degree. Of course, we all have more that we value other than just beauty, but beauty is a standard of value that we give people, whether we know it or not. Now, why bother explaining how beauty works? You already understand that you all have your own preferences and your ideas. Well, the fact is that it's to show that you have assigned that value. Whenever you are wondering whether something is worth your time or worth your moments or whether people are worth your time, ask yourself, how much do I value this? Because no one else can assign it value but you. In fact, I heard a story once where I had a neighbor, when he was growing up, he would throw away pennies. And when his father caught him, he said, "Don't you ever dare do that again." And he said, "Why?" And he said, "It's because you are training yourself that money does not mean anything to you." Although we know that a dollar bill is worth $1, how much we value that dollar bill is different from person to person due to how they've grown up, how they act, and how they continue to grow as a human being today. With that, we need to make sure that we understand what we value so we can make our lives better. Now, once again, talking about the idea that we are not necessarily separated through physical appearance, but through the perception of the world around us, why does that matter? Well, with the ability to be able to see anything and everything different from one another allows us to grow in ways that another person couldn't. That is how we all have our own, each individual, unique talents and abilities, because we see the world differently. If each of us are able to improve upon how we see the world, allowing us to grow our talents and abilities, not only are we providing value to ourselves by allowing ourselves to accomplish what we have set out to achieve, but we now have a special ability that allows us to help others. Now, there is a tricky situation that I'd like to talk about, which is about with your friends and how other people's values impact you. Once again, other people's values compared to your own do not matter due to the fact that their values aren't for you, but for them. They are each separate and unique to that individual. And yet there are moments when we conform to certain values or take upon the same ideals as one another. Now, why? How does that make any sense? Well, the fact is that when our brain works, we like to make things simpler. We are very social creatures. That's how we've managed to progress as human beings so far, is because we are able to talk to one another, to communicate like I am right now talking into this camera. And the fact is, with this communication, we can also see that we like to be like one another. We have an innate sense of wanting to be like another person because we feel that when we conform to their values, not only are they happier, but because they are happy, we feel that value as well. Well, I'd like to state a statement that was given to me a few summers ago from a very, very good person that I've known in my neighborhood, who said that a true friend is someone that helps you fulfill your values. So it's okay to see other people's values, and maybe they can even help your own. But remember that someone that is truly your friend isn't going to try to make you change to against what you believe. A good friend is someone who helps you fulfill your own values, your own personal success. And that is what provides control and satisfaction in our lives. Being able to fulfill our own values and recognizing where they lie. And with that, I hope you'll be able to think about what is worth your time and what you value in your life. And with that, bye.